Hi guys, it's Rob back with another Unity tutorial. So as promised, I'm going to be showing you guys now how to take a sprite that you have here, a character, and how to animate it. So let's get to it. So we have our first sprite, our initial sprite here, labeled player 1. And we've clicked on this, so now in our animation window, we see this. The mistake some of you might make is you might click on something else. And because there's no animations for this object, you're not going to see anything here. So you can say, oh, why can't I see anything? And especially here, where it's not letting you record, where like you don't have any objects clicked, you might be like, well, how am I supposed to, record animations, play animations? You want to click this right here, and now you can go down here, create new clip, right? I'm just going to work with an existing clip here, just to show you guys. No, I don't want run left. I want Basuki run. Okay, so now that we have that, you can go ahead and hit record. And what you're going to do is you're going to take all of your various components of this animation. You're going to place them on your timeline. So you can see here, we have this, which is the start to run, the start run position. Then we have right here the clip of our run, and then another run. So this is basically, we have three separate sprites here that were put in alignment at these certain times to simulate this run animation. And if we hit play here, we'll take off record, we'll just hit play. You'll notice that we're simulating a run. So it's basically just a drag and drop system. You would drag each sprite that makes that animation up, and you plop it right here along the animation timeline. Now, also, in the animator, what you're going to do, you're going to right-click. You're going to probably have an orange thing and a gray thing. You're going to right-click, and you're going to go, you could go on the gray. Basically, what this means, the orange one is your default. So that's idle for us, because the idle animation is what you really want to start off. That's when the player's not doing anything. So that's going to be what it defaults to. Now, if we wanted to make a run left our default, we'd right-click and go set as default. But we don't want to do that, so we want to keep idle as that. Now, each of these little arrows here, the way you get an arrow between something is you just right-click, make transition, and you'd click here. Now, I'm just going to undo that because I don't want that arrow there right now. But each of these little arrows, if you look over here, it has some sort of, see, it says base layer.idle to base layer.run left. Now what this means is I'm transitioning from my idle animation to my run left animation. As you can see here, we have some conditions. Okay, to delete a condition, we would click here, and we would click the minus symbol, right? To add a condition, we would click plus. Now, there are a variety of conditions, as you'll soon find out. Some are based on, they're all based on variables that you make. And now you might say, well, how do we create one? See, now I'm just going to delete this. See, so I'll just go to that minus thing. Parameters. There's a variety of types of parameters. You could have a float, an integer, a bool, or a trigger. Okay? And once you make one of those, then you could use those as your conditions here. And this, for example, to transition from idle to run left, let me just make sure how much time we have, okay? So to transition from idle to run left, we need to meet two conditions. The Boolean is left has to be true, which basically checks if the player had hit the left key, which I'll show you in the code in the next tutorial. The other thing that needs to be true is our speed variable, okay, which is, I believe, float, if I'm not mistaken, has to be greater than 0.1. So if one of these conditions isn't met, this animation won't trigger. In order for this transition between idle and run left to trigger, we need to meet both of these conditions. And again, you would simply make a parameter and then use it within the condition. Okay? And now we'll jump into the code in the next tutorial, and I'll show you how you can actually link up these animations directly in the code for an end result, again, that would look something similar to this. Depending on what you wanted to do. Where you'd have your gun fired, run, jump, turn, run. You could even have an attack, set up an attack there. So there's a lot of different things you could do with this and a lot of different ways you could use it. But the common thing is we're using the animation system, the native animation system in Unity. No plugins required, just some sprites, some prefabs, and getting to work. And I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thanks.